Hello, this is a video that I never thought that I would make, but I'm going to. I remember in my teenage years, um, I wanted to be a model. I have the height, I have the looks. So I wanted to be a model. I was always thin growing up. And I remember telling my mom I want to be a model. And my mom discouraged me from being a model. Now, do you talking about the 90s? Yeah, the 90s. I'm thinking about it. It had to be before my oldest daughter. No, then it wasn't the 90s. It had to be in the 70s. Yes, in the 70s, because I didn't have any kids then. And I had my first daughter in the 80s. Well, 1980 to be exact. Well, anyway, I told my mom I wanted to be a model, and she discouraged me. She said, "You don't want to be a model. Models, they they sleep around with different men." So, of course, I didn't want that type of lifestyle, and at the time I felt like my mom she wasn't going to support me in it anyway. So I just was discouraged and didn't pursue that. But then as I got older, and the late 80s and the 90s, it was, I wasn't really following the rappers, and I wasn't into that type of music. God has saved me. He saved my soul. um, I guess right after I had my baby girl, my oldest daughter. Well, anyway, now that I'm thinking about it, I am grateful. I am so grateful that I did not pursue that life of modeling, because a lot of stuff has come out, as you know. And I'm sitting here now listening to TSR on the Shade Room on YouTube, where a Jeffrey Epstein survivor, Lisa Phillips, she broke her silence. And the reason why I'm making this video, because I really thought that I was over the emotions of almost being in that era. But my heart and my spirit has so much compassion when I hear the women talk about their experience and seeing how things went with Diddy and his lifestyle and women that were involved with him. And it's emotionally touched me. Well, I was compelled to do this video. It was the blessings of God that kept me from that lifestyle. And back then, I was young and naive, and I really was into the what I would call sexual addiction. Spirit was upon me. And had I got into that modeling era, I personally think I would have been ruined, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally. Because at that time I was going through a lot, trying to find my way through this evil world. And I know there may be women out there in this social media world that may have been in the same mindset with me. I know I was not the only one. But I'm hoping this video will help someone to know that if you did not pursue a certain career, thank God. If some people, mom, dad, or whomever may have discouraged you, and now you realize that was the best discouragement you could have ever accepted and not pursue it, thank God. Because looking back now and hearing the stories and hearing the women share their stories on how abusive and they were treated in that way, and mentally abused and emotionally abusive, and the men that was involved, and some women that encouraged it, involved, ruined a lot of women, young girls' lives. And if you are one to say, oh, they just talking, it didn't really happen, think about it. How would you feel if you have a story to tell and you're not being able to tell it because you're being discouraged or you're afraid to tell it? Tell your story. Share your story. Let some people hear your story, because you may be helping somebody, especially nowadays, the young girls growing up. This is a social media madness, and it's being used, in not so good ways. I have a lot of granddaughters, and I am in a space that I must tell my story and my experience. So one day when they ever run across this video, they can hear Grandma sharing her story. Life and experiences will damage you or build you up. So don't be afraid to tell your story. Don't be afraid to share your emotional, your vulnerability. I did that for many years. And now I'm telling my story. I'm going to share my feelings. I'm going to let it all out. You can say what you want to say about me. These videos going to be out in social media. I may be dead and gone. They still going to be out there. I love you all. Thank y'all so much for listening to Auntie. Thank y'all so much for listening to Grandmother. Thank y'all so much for listening to my story when I share my videos. It's my story, and this is the way I'm going to tell it. I love you all, and it's nothing you could do about it but love me back. Bye.